Good morning, class 9 students. I welcome you all on this online platform provided by Jagriti Classes. We were doing chapter 8 of class 9, that is motion, and this was a chapter of physics. So we'll be continuing this chapter in this video also, that is class 9th, chapter 8, and this chapter is about motion. We have already done the introduction of motion in the previous video lessons. What do you understand by the term motion? Then what do you understand by the next term, that is rest? And then we have done many other things, that is how many kinds of motion do you actually have? And we dealt with two kinds of motion here, uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Then we studied what is the basic definition of motion, what is the definition of rest, and then we discussed some important concepts. First was differentiation between distance and displacement. Then we studied what do you mean by the two terms, that is speed and velocity. So these topics we have already covered, and in the previous video lecture we were doing speed and velocity. I told you that speed is total distance covered by time taken, whereas velocity, for calculating velocity, you need to find displacement, and displacement gives you the shortest distance between any two positions. So now we'll be continuing with the same, that is speed and velocity. So what do you mean by the term speed and velocity here? We said that speed, as you all know, it can be defined as distance covered per unit time, whereas velocity can be defined by the amount of displacement in per unit time. So this was the basic difference. Speed here, you involve total distance covered by the particle, whereas in velocity, we refer to the displacement of particle in unit time, and displacement is the shortest distance between your initial and final positions. So now we said that speed is a scalar quantity because we do not require any kind of direction while calculating speed, whereas velocity is your vector quantity. Vector quantities are those quantities which involve magnitude as well as direction. Now you have two more terms, that is average speed and average velocity. Till here, that is the introduction of speed and velocity and the related numericals for distance and displacement we did in our previous class. Now we are starting the topic average speed and average velocity. So when do you require to calculate speed, and then when do you require to calculate average speed? This remains a confusion in the minds of students, that when in the question you will not be told everywhere that calculate its average speed. It would just be given that an particle covers x distance in y time, then find speed. So where will you apply this formula for the calculating speed and average speed? The formula here for average speed is, you just write total distance here instead of distance, total distance covered upon total time taken. This is just the difference between these two formulas. For calculating speed, you write distance covered per unit time, whereas if you are required to calculate average speed, you do it by the formula by using the prefix total. So average speed is your total distance covered in total time. This gives you average speed. And average velocity, then again you have two kinds of formulas for calculating average velocity here. Average velocity is what? Average velocity is again the total displacement divided by total time. You know, as the formula of basic formula of speed and velocity is just the same, only difference here is, here the term distance is used, whereas for calculating velocity you require the displacement of object. Similar is the case or the difference in the formulas of average speed and average velocity. For average velocity or average speed, you have to use the prefix total, that is, it would be given, we'll be dealing with an example in the next section, then you will understand Just for here you remember that if you are calculating the average speed or average velocity, you use the words total. Total distance covered in total time. This same is the formula of velocity. In the place of distance, you write displacement here. Because for calculating average, you require the total time and total displacement, not the distance if you are talking about velocity. Then another formula which is given in your textbooks, a line is written, that is, if the rate of velocity changes uniformly in unit time. Okay? If rate of velocity, or we write, if given velocity shows a uniform pattern, then for calculating average velocity in this case, it is written that whenever a body is showing uniform change in velocity, then the average velocity will be arithmetic mean of all the velocities or both the velocities involved. So average velocity, arithmetic mean, you all know, that is doing the calculations of average. Okay? So average velocity would be initial velocity plus final velocity upon 2. And when you calculate your initial, when you sum out your initial and final velocities and divide it by 2, then this is the mean or average. And this gives you average velocity. But the remaining previous two formulas, this is for non-uniform case. And this formula also, which is of average velocity, the first one, it is also for the cases involving non-uniform motion. Now let's discuss how to use these formulas of average speed and average velocity when you are given non-uniform motion, when the object or the body is performing a non-uniform motion. And what do you mean by non-uniform motion? When any object covers unequal distance in equal intervals of time, such kind of motion is said to be non-uniform. And yes, you even may say that when an object covers equal distance in unequal intervals of time. You can use with time also unequal, but generally we say that non-uniform motion done by an object is when an object covers unequal distance in equal intervals of time. This gives you non-uniform motion. So let's see how to calculate uniform and non-uniform, how to calculate average speed and average velocity in case of uniform and non-uniform motion. So first one we have calculate speed and velocity of an object which traveled from place A to place B and then to place C. Okay, you have to calculate the speed and velocity of an object which traveled a total distance in some parts. That is, first it traveled from place A to place B and then it traveled from place B to the place C. That was its final place or final position. Then what you have next is, let's make a diagram also. These are your positions of the object in which the object traveled along a straight path. And then you are asked to find, yes, this is place A. First the object started from A, traveled to place B, and let's write the distances also. The distance between A to C is 50 meters. The distance between C to B will be 40 meters. And then you have the time taken, okay? You can say that time taken to travel time taken to travel from A to B was 10 seconds and time taken to travel from B to C was 5 seconds. Now you have to find the average speed and average velocity. To make it easier, let's change the positions which I marked here, okay? So that it would be easier to you to understand the concepts, and once you understand the concepts really well, then it would be very easy to solve any kind of complex problem what you are given with, okay? So I'm just reducing the complexity. Calculate speed and velocity of an object which traveled from place A to B and then to place C. Time taken for the first journey, here we'll do A to B and B to C. Now the time taken to travel from point A to point B is given as 10 seconds and the next time interval from B to C is given as 5 seconds. This distance from A to B you have 50 meters and from B to C you have 40 meters distance. Now by analyzing the question, that is by reading the question, you have to understand here it is just written find the speed and velocity. Now you have, let's suppose talking about speed first. You have a formula of speed to be distance traveled upon time taken. Then you have one more concept in your mind, average speed. And average speed is total distance covered upon total time taken. And we are required to find the speed and velocity of this total journey. That is, you have to calculate speed and velocity of an object starting from A and ending its journey at point C. So now which formula we should use? I told you earlier also, in every question they will not specify you that whether you have to find speed or average speed. Maybe it is given that find the average speed of the object. But in many cases, they do not write, the examiners do not write, either you have to use the direct formula of speed or you have to use of average speed. So how you will calculate it? Let's see. In this complete journey from A to C, if you observe carefully, then when the object moves from point A to B, that is in the first half of the journey and in the last half of the journey, is the object undergoing uniform motion or non-uniform motion? Please tell me. You may pause the video and you may tell me that in this complete journey, either the object is undergoing a uniform type of motion or non-uniform type of motion. Which kind of motion is this? Correct? This is an example of non-uniform motion because this object is traveling in unequal distance in unequal time intervals. When both your distance and your time interval are unequal, it is definitely a non-uniform motion. For non-uniform motion, what conditions do you have? And remember, if you have non-uniform motion in the numericals related to speed and velocity, then you have to find the average speed and average velocity everywhere, always. So how to identify that the motion given in the question is uniform or non-uniform? This we can do very easily. For non-uniform motion, you may have three conditions. Either the object which is traveling, it covers unequal distance. Okay, time may be equal, but the distance here would remain unequal. So let's see. Yes, in the first half, the object covered 50 meters, whereas in the next, it covered only 40 meters. So because the distance given is unequal here, you call it to be a non-uniform motion. Then the next point would be, if the object covers this journey in unequal time, then also, if the time is unequal, it would be a non-uniform motion. Or if both the things are unequal, you are given unequal distance and unequal time, then so definitely it's an example of non-uniform motion. So let's see what we have. We have to calculate speed and velocity. Let's do this. Because we are given non-uniform motion, I will use the formula of average speed and average velocity. So average speed here would be, average speed was total distance covered upon total time taken. This was the formula. We have already added the words total here. Then what is the total distance? Total distance means distance from A to B plus distance from or distance between B to C. This would give you a total distance, and total time would be time required from the place A to B plus you can write T BC. That is time required to cover a distance from B to C. This would give you the average speed. Now distance from A to B is 50 and the next one is 40. So 50 plus 40 would give you a total distance of 90. And what is the total time? The total time here is 15 seconds. The distance you have in meter and time you have in seconds. So see, we have used the formula of average speed here. Despite nothing was written in the question that calculate the average speed. I could also have used the formula that speed is distance upon time. But which kind of distance do I have to take? Okay, so because you are given two different time intervals and two different values of distance, the formula which we used is of average speed, which says total distance upon total time. Total means add up the distance of the complete journey and divided by the total time of the journey which the object is traveling, then you would get average speed. In the similar manner, you can calculate average velocity here. Average velocity will be what? Displacement upon time. So the total displacement from A to B is 50. Displacement is what? Shortest distance between initial and final. A is the initial position, B is the final position. Then you have a total displacement to be 50 meters. While talking of the next case, here you have your initial position to be B and the final position to be C. Then also the displacement and distance would be 40 meter. Here the given displacement and distance are equal. So average speed and average velocity will be calculated in a similar manner and you will get the same answers. But let's say I have a question where the object starts from this point, travels to the point B, and then it travels back to point A. Okay? The distance for the first half is 60 meters. And you are asked what would be the average speed and average velocity. You are given that distance of A to B is 60 meters. The object first traveled from A to B and then he again turned back and traveled back to A. This is the question. I am not writing now the whole question in language. So this is your question. Length of A to B is 60 meters. The path of the object I can write in short. It traveled from A to B and then back to A. This is the path traveled by the object. Then the next given thing is the distance of A to B is 60 meter. And then next you have the time. Time taken, okay, time taken to travel from A to point B is 2 minutes. And then the time taken to travel from B back to the point A is 1 minute. This you have been given and you are asked about average speed and average velocity. If you are cleared with all your concepts, please attempt this question on your own and then you may check the answers with me. Okay, let's see what would be the answer to this question. See, you have to calculate average speed. Average speed is total distance divided by total time. What is the total distance? So the path which we have is A to B and then back to A. From A to B the distance is 60 meters. Then from B to A also the distance would be same because these points are fixed or stationary. So this distance, either you are traveling from left to right or you travel back, the distance would be obviously definitely same. So here the distance is 60 meters. But the time interval, what is the time interval? For the first journey, 2 minutes, and then for the back journey or the return journey, the time is 1 minute. Now can you calculate? See, we have equal distance, but we have unequal intervals of time. Therefore, we are asked to calculate average speed. So either it is written that calculate average speed or it is not written. Please clear your concepts. If non-uniform motion is given or if a long journey is braked into many paths or many breakpoints, and then you are given different values, then obviously you have to calculate average speed. That is, you have to find the total distance, then you have to find the total time, and then divide these both the values, you will be getting average speed. So let's see what is the total distance. Total distance is 60 plus 60 meters, which is 120 meters. What is the total time? Yes, we have to convert this to seconds. Why? Because we have to find everything in SI units, standard units, and the standard unit of distance is meter, while the standard unit of time is second. So how to calculate this? This is very easy. I hope you know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Then 2 minutes would be equal to what? 2 into 60, which would give you 120 seconds. So here we have, instead of 2 minutes, I am writing 120 seconds. And then the next 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So this would give you 180 seconds in total. Now can you calculate average speed? Average speed would be total distance 120 divided by total time 180. And then you can find the answer. So average speed would be 120 upon 180 meter per second. Now you can calculate this easy calculation. 2, 6, 12, 2 9s are 18, then you can cancel it by 3, you would get 2 by 3, and then you can also find it in decimal. Okay, so this would be an approx answer for the average speed. Now can any one of you tell me how to calculate average velocity or the answer for average velocity here? Please try this question and do let me know what is the answer for average velocity. Okay, the answer for average velocity. For velocity, what is the formula? We have to calculate total displacement divided by total time taken. Now, total for calculating total displacement, what do you have? Do not look at this, okay? Look at the question. The object displacement is shortest distance between initial and final position. I am repeating everything. I am revising the previous concepts because I want you all to revise it with me, and I want that whenever we finish or end with this chapter, you at least have all the definitions, all the symbols and formulas in your mind. Okay? Therefore, I keep revising in every class. What do you mean by distance? What do you mean by displacement, which we did in our introductory classes. So for average velocity, you have to deal with total displacement. And for calculating displacement, it is the shortest distance between initial and final. So let's see, the object started from A. So this is the initial or the starting position. Then the object traveled to point B and it turned back and again traveled to point A and ended its journey. So the A is also final point or final position of the object here. Now we said that when initial position is equal to final position, what is the displacement? Correct. You are very genius, I guess. The displacement is 0 because initial and final position are the same. So what is the shortest distance between initial and final? Shortest distance is 0. So here, because the displacement is 0, this average velocity would come out to be 0. See, average velocity would be what? Average velocity would be total displacement upon total time. Total displacement is 0. Total time taken is how much? 180 seconds. So 0 by 180 would give you 0 meter per second. That is the average velocity of object in the given question is 0 meter per second. Whereas coming to this average speed, it is 2 by 3 meters per second. So this, I think now the concept of speed, velocity, average speed, average velocity is cleared. Now please undergo all or solve all the questions which are given in text questions, that blue questions in your NCERT, and then try to solve the questions given at exercises, okay, at the end of the chapter. This, I hope after studying all these concepts, you will be easily able to solve every question. Now we are coming to the next topic, which is acceleration. So what do you mean by the term acceleration? Acceleration, the symbol for acceleration is small a. Small a is used to denote acceleration here. Then Acceleration, for defining it, we say that rate of change of velocity is acceleration. So now rate of change of velocity. Remember one thing, in physics, wherever you get the term rate, okay, rate of change. So rate means every quantity that is signified by the term rate, it means divided by time. So I'm writing the term rate means anything which is divided by time. Generally, everywhere in physics, you will find the term rate. So you can conclude rate is divided by time. So let's see. Then to form the formula from the definition itself, if you remember the definition, this can be used to find the formula for acceleration. So the symbol of acceleration is A. So A would be rate of change. I know rate means I have to divide something by time. Now what we have to divide change of velocity. Change of velocity. What do you mean by this term? So I can write acceleration is change in velocity. You can also write change of velocity divided by time. It is one and the same thing, either you write off or in, okay? We are not studying any grammatical errors. So we can write acceleration is change in velocity upon time. You know the symbol of time is t and the SI unit is second. Then next is change in velocity. How to find change in something? Change is what? When you are given an initial or starting velocity and you are given a final velocity, and if I ask you what is the change, then you will say, ma'am, final minus initial gives us the change of velocity. So here what we have is, for initial velocity is represented by, okay, let's write it at this side. Initial velocity, that is the velocity of starting journey, it is represented by small u. And then final velocity is represented by the alphabet small v. So initial velocity is small u, final velocity is small v. So change in velocity would be what? Change in velocity would be, you say final velocity minus initial velocity. If you find the difference between final and initial velocity, this would give you a change in velocity. I hope you are following with me, okay? Then this would be time again, and you know final velocity and initial, you can also use the symbols. So acceleration would be v minus u upon t. And here comes the formula of acceleration given in textbooks. Acceleration is v minus u upon t, and then it is written v minus u is v is your final, u is your initial. But we actually derived the formula from the definition of acceleration itself. What was acceleration? Acceleration is rate of change of velocity. Okay, well and good. Then I said you rate means anything divided by time. Rate means to divide with time. So I said acceleration, the symbol is a, small a. Acceleration is change of velocity divided by time. Then next you had what is change in velocity? Change is final velocity minus initial velocity. So then I use the symbols here. Final is v, initial is u. So the formula became acceleration is v minus u upon t. This is the formula for acceleration. And this one is the definition. We have done the definition. We have written the symbol. Then we did the formula. This is the symbol, okay? Now next what is, you will get numericals based on this concepts. Okay, let's also find the unit of acceleration. SI unit of acceleration. How to find the unit? It is very easy. We find the unit from the formulas. Acceleration is v minus u upon t. Then for finding the unit of acceleration, what is the unit of velocities? Velocity is in meter per second. The unit of distance and displacement, remember the units with me, okay? Now we'll revise. Unit for distance and displacement, we are talking about SI units. So till here we have read distance displacement. Its SI unit is meter. Then you know time. SI unit of time is seconds. Then we have another term that is velocity or speed. Both have same SI unit, that is meter per second. And then we saw acceleration. So let's see what is the unit of acceleration. You have your velocities to be in meter per second. So whenever you find the difference, then the unit which would come would be meter per second. So you have meter per second, and then time. The unit of time is in seconds. And meter per second, I told you, I can also write this. Meter second inverse could be written as meter per second. And for the unit of time, you have a second again. So this gives you meter per second square. And this, if written in inverse form, will be meter second 2 minus 2. So this is the unit of acceleration. The unit of acceleration which we got is meter second minus 2, or you can say meter per second square. This is the unit of acceleration. So these are the revision of all the units, all the physical quantities, formulas we have done. Distance and displacement have the unit of meter. Time is measured in seconds. Velocity and speed are measured in meter per second. And acceleration, you have meter per second square. Why you got a square, you can see from the calculations. So this, I told you the calculation, how to find units from the formulas. If you find it difficult to learn them, to cram up them, so you can easily say it from the formula that acceleration would be definitely meter per second square. So now please remember the units, because in any kind of numerical problems which you will solve, you will be required to write your answers with proper units. If you write incorrect unit instead of solving the numerical completely correct, then also some marks would be deducted. So please, if you do not want to lose any of your marks, remember these units which are used and write the units in the numericals also in the answers. Now for solving numericals, one more conversion factor is required. That is, for solving the numericals related to acceleration, speed, velocity, your SI unit would be, for speed and velocity it is meter per second, and for acceleration it is meter per second square. But sometimes in the question, let's suppose you have to find acceleration. Okay, we are discussing a problem in which we are given, or we are required to find acceleration of an object whose initial velocity, the initial velocity of the object is, let's suppose, 36 kilometer per hour. And the final velocity, or let's take this, one more concept which we will discuss. Initial velocity is 0 kilometer per hour and final velocity is 36 kilometers per hour. And now you are required to find the acceleration. The time which you are given is 2 minutes. We have already taken this same time, so let's take here 5 minutes. This is the question. So first you can see that nothing is given in SI units. So our first aim would be, before solving the actual numerical, before finding out the acceleration, you have to calculate or convert all these units into their SI units. That is, minutes should be converted to seconds. I already told you the conversion. 1 minute has 60 seconds. So multiply this 5 with 60. Then you will get 300 seconds. So for finding what you do in seconds, you get 5 into 60. 6 5s are 30. Then you get 300 seconds. This is a simple conversion. You know it from your junior classes. Now what about this? In this question I have written initial velocity is 0 kilometer per hour. You can also be given that if you are given in the question language that object is at rest. Object is at rest, it means it is not undergoing any type of motion. And if the object is not moving, then you can say that initial velocity is 0. Because it is not moving, so its speed or velocity is but obvious 0. So if you are given in the question that object is at rest, then you can conclude that, or you can infer that initial velocity is 0. Then you are given final velocity is 36 km per hour. Now I want to convert this 36 km per hour into SI unit. And what is the SI unit of velocity we just discussed? Very good. This is meter per second. So I need to do two conversions, that is I need to convert kilometers into meters and these hours into second. How to do that? You know that 1 kilometer has 1000 meter and 1 hour has how many seconds? So 1 hour has 60 minutes and then 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So for converting this hour directly into second, you have to multiply the value twice with 60. So if I write that from both these equation 1 and equation 2, what do you get? That in 1 hour how many seconds are present? 1 hour contains 60 into 60 seconds. That is 3600 seconds are present in 1 hour. Everything I am telling you from just the base, because I need you to clear all your concepts, okay? So here, how 1 hour is equal to 3600 seconds? Because 1 hour has 60 minutes, 1 minute has 60 seconds. In turn, to convert 1 hour into seconds, you would get 60 into 60, which would be 3600 seconds. Now what's next is, so how you'll convert kilometer per hour into meter per second? So the conversion would be 36 kilometer per hour. This kilometer would be required to be multiplied by 1000, and because we have 1 hour, so 1 would be required to be multiplied by 60 into 60. And everywhere, wherever you get the conversion of kilometer per hour into meter per second, the factor required would be, if you are given kilometer per hour and you have to convert it into meter per second, then you have to multiply by what factor? By this factor. That is, multiply this given value with 1000 upon 3600, that is 60 into 60. Then you would get the answer. So you can remember that this is a fixed factor from which you have to multiply. So you can remember that for converting kilometer per hour into meter per second, just multiply the value with 5 upon 18. Now here, how 5 upon 18 came? Let's simplify this factor. You can cancel 2 zeros, and then if you divide by both these numbers 10 and 36 by 2, you get 2 5s are 10 and 2 18s are 36. So you get the factor 5 by 18. Then again and again, no need to learn this conversion. No need to always multiply the given value with 1000 upon 3600. You can directly multiply the given value, that is 36, with 5 upon 18 simply. And this given value, you know that 18 2s are 36, then you will get 10 meter per second as the answer. And if you solve this, then the answer would also be 10 meter per second. So what I have done is I have simplified the factor 1000 upon 3600 as 5 upon 18. And remember now, whenever you are given a question in kilometer per hour and you have to convert the value to meter per second, you have to multiply that with 5 by 18. How you got 5 by 18? I told you here. So 36 kilometer per hour would be 10 meter per second. And now we are having all the values, so we can find acceleration. Acceleration is v minus u upon t. Initial velocity is 0, final velocity is 10, and the time is 300 seconds. So now let's calculate acceleration. Acceleration is v minus u upon t. So acceleration would be, v is 10 meter per second minus, you have 0 meter per second, 10 meter per second minus 0 meter per second, and time was 300 seconds. And now on solving this, you get 10 by 300, which is 1 by 3. So you can write, and the unit is meter per second square. So this would be your final answer. Yes, definitely you can solve 1/3 in decimals. How to do that? The denominator is placed as the divisor and numerator act as dividend. Okay? If you are confused somewhere here also how to convert this, then the denominator, which is 3, it would act as divisor always, and 1 act as, that numerator act as dividend. The number which is written inside is dividend, which is written outside, it is known as divisor or divisor. Then you say that you put a point here, 0, then you would get 0.333 as the answer. So 1/3 is 0.333 meter per second square. Any answer, this is the most simplified form of the answer. So this would be the best selected, but if you do not have time, please calculate up to the fractional value and write the unit. Unit is very important here. If you do not write the unit, your marks would be deducted. So this was a basic problem for acceleration. Now in the next class, I'll try that we'll do some more questions related to distance, displacement, speed, velocity and acceleration, so that more of your concepts are cleared and you have no doubts in all these concepts, because after learning definitions, symbols and formulas, the main required skill is solving numericals. So we'll try to cover as many numericals as possible, and then we'll be doing this chapter and then ending the chapter as usual. And if you have any kinds of doubts, you can ask us anytime. Thank you for joining the class now. Stay home, stay safe, and yes, keep studying always.